There are strange games. There are fucked up games. And then there's Monster Party. I really don't know what to say about this game. Released by Bandai in 1989, it's definitely one of the stranger titles on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The story follows a young boy named Mark who has an M on his shirt like a familiar YouTuber. He looks up in the sky and sees a star, which makes his eyes moist for some odd reason. Turns out it's not a star, but actually a monster that fell from the sky named Bert. Wow, great jobs on the name, Bandai. Anyways, Bert is looking for a hero, someone to save his world. Mark is scared to face the monsters, but Bert believes that with his bat he is more than capable, and they fly off to the monster world. And this is how Mark's adventure begins. So it says. First off, if you notice, this game is a side-scroller, and wow, I really don't know what to say. Mark uses a baseball bat to fight enemies, weird guys look up there in school uniforms, and legs sticking out of the ground. Yeah. There are doors you can go into to fight monsters, like this one. Basically just boss creatures. You can use your bat to knock back projectiles and hit them. But this seems to take so long, and there's never any real guaranteeing that deflecting the projectiles is going to hit the enemy. It seems completely random. Eventually you'll defeat the boss. Every boss drops a question mark, which does something completely random. It can either give you health back or add to your score. Some enemies you kill drop health, and others drop these little pills that turn you into Bert, I guess. Or Bert substitutes for you. Whatever. Bert can fly and shoot projectiles and does a lot more damage than Mark does with his bat. So that's really about the gist of the game. Just really... What the fuck is going on? What just happened? Everything suddenly turned more evil than it already is. That's just something you deal with in this game. It's just so bizarre and so odd. Yet it's still intriguing in a way to where you don't stop playing it. It's one of the quirkier, stranger games in the NES library. Eventually, at the end of the first stage, you come across a weird door that you can't do anything about. Remember those doors that lead to monsters? Yeah, you have to kill each and every one of the monsters inside the doors to get the key to exit the stage. Usually there's about 2 to 3 monsters in a stage that you have to kill to get the key. Sometimes you don't even fight a monster, like this guy right here. He just says, "Sorry, I'm dead." And you wait around for a little bit, and you get his item. Like I said, this game is really weird. Sometimes you'll just get a completely empty room. There are a few occasions where the empty rooms will give you items, but most of the time I've got nothing. So unless you know where the bosses are ahead of time, you're just going to have to search every single room until you've killed all the monsters. Monster Party is split up into 8 rounds, each round being a different stage, which you can thankfully return to with a password feature, and you're also given infinite continues, so you can keep trying on the same stage, and not really have to worry about going back to the password screen every time you die. Of the 8 rounds, the first being the weird transforming forest, stage 2 is a sewer, round 3 is a cave, which probably has one of my favorite tunes in the entire game, round 4 is a pyramid, round 5 is this oddly happy and serene little forest, round 6, where things really start to go to fuck, is this maze of doors and this horrible wind sound. It just goes on forever. Round 6, oddly enough, is the only stage with one boss, and for good reason, because it just keeps on going. Round 7 is a tower that goes up for about 12 or so floors. And the final round, round 8, you're in Happy Cloud Land, fighting sticks of dynamite and evil witches who drop pixie dust on you. Monster Party's not a long game. It may take you about an hour to beat, but it's still very, very challenging. And with infinite continues and a fairly decent password feature, there really is no reason to not go through the entire thing and finish it. One interesting thing to note is when you fight the Grim Reaper, he actually says, "Welcome to the entrance to hell," or "Welcome entrance to hell." It's one of the only times that I can remember seeing the word hell in a Nintendo game, the other being Rambo for the NES. I'm surprised that Nintendo let that slip by. Round 8 is where I nearly lost my shit. I get to the very end, the final door, but I don't have the key. But I've fought all the monsters I could possibly find, so I have to go back to the stage. And this stage is hard enough as it is. Come to find out, from the start of the stage, you have to go left, and there is one more monster area you go to. The only stage in the entire game that does that. And you gotta fight this twirly dragon fucker who spins around you and takes half your health. This is probably the hardest boss in the game. The final boss of Monster Party is a giant face that exclaims, "Beat me and you can leave. Come and die." Then he starts spitting out these eyeballs who have that pattern like that stupid dragon. His weak point is his nose, where this little eye pops out occasionally and you can hit it. Also, don't die on the final boss. If you die on the final boss, you don't start at the final boss even though it says round 9. You go back to the beginning of round 8. And you have no idea, if you have not played this game, how hard round 8 is. You have to go through all of that all over again. The ending to Monster Party is all kinds of fucked up. It starts off okay, with Bert giving Mark a present for destroying all the monsters. Mark goes home and opens the present, and a beautiful princess comes out. But after that, the princess turns into a creepy fucking monster, and other monsters start to show up, and Mark passes out. I bet kids who played this were completely traumatized. That is just weird. Mark himself is even turned into a decaying monster. Oh my god, what was Bandai on? Eventually Mark wakes up in his bed. It was just a horrible nightmare. But then there's a knock at the door, and there's your good old friend Bert waiting for you with a baseball bat, almost like he's there to break your legs for being late on a payment. And that there is the end of Monster Party. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. And I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of the 31 games of Halloween. Have a good night.